Hey you guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in to what's going to be my favorites video for the month of February. Pretty self-explanatory, talking about the beauty products that I've been loving. Let's go ahead and dive in. First, I'm going to start with the base, which is actually the same as last month, so maybe kind of boring, but worth repeating because they're good products. For the face, it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. Mine is in the shade Buff Bisque. I'm currently wearing it today. I've used this in a couple of tutorials here. If you actually want to see how it applies to the skin, I can link to that in the description bar below. Have really been loving this for it gives like buildable medium to full-ish coverage. I would say like I've been having some blemishes for some reason, and maybe it's hormonal since they're all down here, that I've really had to go in and cover up with a little bit more heavy coverage concealer. So I definitely noticed it hasn't covered those completely, but for the most part it really evens out my skin tone with a good amount of coverage, but still leaves kind of a dewy, radiant, but not overly glowy glow to the skin. I have combo skin, so I do tend to be on the lookout for excess oil in my T-zone, and this gives you a luminous glow without turning into an absolute oil slick at the end of the day. So really like this, and super affordable from Wet n Wild. So I have deviated from my J. Manuel Beauty foundation, which I still love. This has just been giving me a little bit more of a natural looking glowy coverage, whereas the J. Manuel foundation is more full coverage, more of a satin, flawless finish. Then for concealer, once again loving and using the Tarte Shape Tape. Mine's shade is light neutral for reference, but I have been using the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Def Concealer. I recently ordered these. Like I said, maybe I even said this in last month's favorites, I forget, but I've been trying to acquire some of the most hyped products as of late, maybe in the past couple months, year, whatever, and I'd never tried these. There's so much hype, so many people use them, love them, rave about them. I had never tried them, so as part of that video that is TBD, will come up at some point in the future, I tried these. So far so good. I really like them, but I have really been loving the Tarte Shape Tape. Then to set all that, I've been using a product that I rediscovered when I did my 2016 Drugstore Favorites tutorial back in January. This is the NYX HD Finishing Powder, and I reached for it not so much because it was a favorite, but just because it was a drugstore setting slash finishing powder that I had on hand, and it has been my go-to setting powder ever since then. So much so that I've hit pan. I don't know if you can see that, maybe in a close-up you can see it, but yeah, I've hit pan on this guy and I don't intend on stopping anytime soon. This is the banana shade, by the way, so it has a hint of yellow tint to it. Very, very slightly tinted though, so I don't find it makes a huge difference versus a translucent setting powder. If anything though, I think, and maybe it's just on my skin tone in particular, that the yellow is a little bit softer as opposed to a stark white like a lot of traditional HD setting powders. This does the same job at setting and maybe adding a little bit of extra coverage without giving you that white cast. Also for the face, and another rediscovery, this is actually a throwback discovery, I have been using the NARS Duo, the Laguna and Orgasm Duo, just the bronzer blush. I talked about this in the ShanXO Beauty Tag, which is basically like talking about old favorites, what you think of them, but in a tutorial format. Got a lot of good feedback from you guys. You really like that kind of video, and so I've done a few of those in the past. I have a playlist of all the I think they were either Throwback Thursday or I forget what series I had them in, but I've done a couple of them at this point using like the Chocolate Bar Naked 2 or Naked Palettes, things like that. And I'm thinking of starting it again since a lot of you seem to enjoy it, and I actually have another throwback product in here as well. I have plenty of stuff to do these tutorials with, and it just really felt good to kind of get back into my collection and rediscover those things that I love. So let me know what palettes or products you want to see me revisit. I'll put maybe either let me know in the comments, or I'll put maybe a poll for the palettes right here. Let me know what you want to see and we'll get back into that series. But anywho, rediscovered this duo and have been used because this is such a go-to everyday. You got your bronzer, your blush, they're perfectly paired together. They're a great everyday duo for the skin. You can really amp them up to intensify them if you're going out somewhere. They're just beautiful together, and I've rediscovered how beautiful they are together and use them every day as a result, although I think I'm getting dangerously close to the Laguna pan. So on to highlight. I've been bouncing around between a couple this month, I'm not gonna lie. I first started with the Makeup Forever Pro Light Fusion. This is the #2 Undetectable Luminizer. This is the one that's #2. There is a pinker, kind of frostier leaning one, whereas this is more of a warm tone gold. It is not, I mean, you can build it up to be pretty opaque on the skin, but this looks like it'd be a little too dark for my skin, but really it comes off as just a very natural looking, beautiful golden glow. As opposed to being maybe something more of a bronzer on my skin tone, it really looks looks nice and natural and beautiful. I use this in my everyday foundation, like glowy foundation routine, so that's where you might have seen that. If you want to see it in use, you can go check out that video. Again, I'll link it below, but I've really been liking that. But as per usual, I am not loyal to any one highlighter or makeup product in general. Let's get real. And so I had a hot tip to pick up the Milani Day Glow Strobe Light Instant Glow Powders. I heard that these were exclusive, might be exclusive to Walmart, and so because my Walmart is so poorly stocked, I just thought, nah, I'm gonna go straight to the source. So I ordered these two, actually I ordered 3. I don't know if I was just tired when I ordered these, but there are 4 shades, and somehow I ended up with 3 and then a duplicate of one that ended up being a little bit too dark for me. So I can do a review of these. Basically, there are, the 2 that I've been liking are number 1, which is Afterglow. It's more of a pinky pearlescent finish, and then the one that I'm wearing today is Day Glow. And this is kind of the golden, oh, if I can get it open, golden counterpart. Let's hold them up together. So yeah, I've really been liking these 2, and then in fact, what might be even more helpful is to hold it up against the golden from the Makeup Forever. You'll be able to see if the Makeup Forever is much more metallic, like really much more high intensity. Well, maybe you can't see that on the camera, but trust, the Makeup Forever is more metallic, and I find when I use it with something like a setting spray, which is another thing that I've been really liking, is to apply the highlight, spritz my face with some setting spray, and then go back in with highlight for a really like boom, in your face glow. This will give you more of a metallic effect, whereas these are still a little bit more soft and natural looking on the skin. But the Milani are somewhat more affordable. Last up are shadows, and like I said, I've been rediscovering some old favorites, not really sticking to any one particular favorite because I recently reviewed the Adept Cosmetics, it's called the Adept palette, and it's this huge magnetic palette that holds a ton of shadows or powders in general. You can see I have blushes up here, really anything that's magnetic you can stick in this bad boy. But in doing so, it's really gotten me to use and look at and like keep all of these shadows more top of mind, so I'm more inclined to reach for them on a daily basis. But I found that I have rediscovered and been loving my Strobe Cosmetics shadows. They are this clan of shadows down in this area. Today I am wearing a combo of Catfight, which is this kind of antique gold. That's all over my lid. And then I'm wearing Felicity in my inner corner. Then I am wearing a teensy bit of, if I can keep it straight, Addiction Demon, this gorgeous maroon shade in my outer corner. This was actually part of the American Horror Story Hotel collection that the brand came out with, which was one reason why I was even originally drawn to the brand, but then soon found out how incredibly pigmented, buttery smooth these shadows were. They also, you get a lot of product. These are bigger pans, and I'll link to the review, so I'm not like re-reviewing it here. I have a 60-second review that I'll link down below. But basically you get a lot of product. The product is insanely good, and it happens to play into a show that I really love, with shades that are just beautiful. So yes, have been rediscovering those, but then naturally along the way have been getting more into, these are a combination of Makeup Geek, Anastasia eyeshadows, and have really been loving them. So those are all of, oh no, I lied, I do have one more. Mascara. This came in my Play by Sephora bag. It's just a teeny tiny little guy. It's the Sephora Lash Craft Length and Volume. Wearing it today, I was seriously blown away by the effects of this mascara. It really lengthened and separate. I wouldn't say it curled so much, but the shape that it did give my lashes, it held it all day. And what I didn't realize until one of you guys said this in the comments of that unbagging video that I posted, is it's a tubing mascara. I wondered how it came off so clean at the end of the day. Like there's no smudging, there's no, what I struggled with a little bit was something like the Essence, the False Lashes mascara. Not only does this flake on me, like I like what it does to my lashes, but it flakes on me easier than a lot of other mascaras do. But also when I go to take it off at the end of the day, I get the raccoon eyes where it's just like no matter how much scrubbing, whatever, if I don't use an oil right away and get it all off in one swipe, it just never comes off until the next day. Even then I'm just applying makeup over like the smudges of this guy. So was really impressed with how this removed, and then it dawned on me when one of you guys commented, it's a tubing mascara, so it doesn't flake, budge, smudge, anything throughout the day, and it's still super easy to take off. So I really like this, and it's only 12 bucks for a full size. So the more and more I use it, the more I think I'm just going to repurchase the full size once I run out of this tester. So now that is really it for my products, guys. Those are all the products that I've been loving in the month of February, and as usual, I'd love to hear which products you have been reaching for most in the comments below. Be sure and check out any of the videos that I talked about if you're interested in learning more about the products, seeing them in use, things like that. All the links will be in the description below, or cards or annotations, things like that. Just look for them throughout the video. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye guys!